I mean, you've kind of come here. We appreciate it. You know, you look at this experience. How do you view kind of what goes on in Washington as potentially being able to help stand up for free speech? Because you know, we get involved in things. A lot of times we make it worse.
You know, I hosted a show called Loveline for over a decade, and I had a very unique perspective because I was able to talk to troubled kids, teenagers, 2 hours a night for a decade, and I really got to learn something about young people and how they work and what works and what doesn't work. And you know, people say, well, you're not a professor, you never read a book, you never went to college, how are you an expert on this? And I say, well, I'm a journeyman carpenter as well. I've never read a book on carpentry, and who would you like to build your house? Someone who read a book on it or someone who just did it every day for over a decade? And I learned that all of these problems that we're talking about, free speech, discrimination, hatred toward other people, and drug addiction, violence, crime, it all stems from the family. And when the family is intact, much of this stuff just goes away. You don't have to legislate it away. It just goes away because people are brought up in intact families with decent, caring parents, whatever their color, whatever their background is, and then they produce little decent individuals who go off to college or a job, place of work, and they don't need to be coached up, and they don't need to be legislated, and they don't need to be bloviated by people like us. They grew up in an intact family. So my feeling is all the stuff we're talking about is at the outside of the rim. The hub is the family, and the discussions should center around the family and who is creating these people who think it'd be a good idea to take a baseball bat to the window of a Starbucks in their community.